Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I'm going to be doing my Premier League predictions from 20th to 1st place, and I'm so excited for this one. Now guys, I have been away for absolutely ages, so I'm now going to be back. I'm going to be making loads of videos soon. I'm going to Everton away on the 17th of August, but the reason why I have been away, well, in May and June I have my GCSEs. Just before I get into the video, I just want to remind you guys to join the FPL League. The code will be at the bottom of the screen here, but I'll also put a link in the description. No more talking from me, let's just jump straight into 20th place. So in 20th place, I put Southampton. Now, the reason why I don't think they'll stay up this season and I think they'll finish rock bottom is just because I don't think they've got the good enough squad. Now, they did sign Brereton Diaz, but I just don't think he's good enough for them to stay up. And I just don't think they've got enough quality. And I also think that Russell Martin's football and his style of play will be caught out quite quickly. Now going into 19th place, I've put Leicester City, another team that just come up from the Championship last season. The main big reason is that there's talks of a point deduction, and I think this will be absolutely massive. But yeah, the point deduction is absolutely huge because let's say they got 12 points. Down in the relegation zone, those 12 points are absolutely massive. So I think a point deduction will just be absolutely huge for them. But also talk about with Leicester, their manager Enzo Maresca, he's now gone to Chelsea. Personally, I don't think that's a good move for him. And another huge thing about them, 𝗦𝗏𝗏 has actually gone to Chelsea. Now I think 𝗦𝗏𝗏 is such an amazing player for Leicester, and I think this could be another reason why Leicester will be relegated. Now on to 18th place, and I'm putting Ipswich Town. Now the thing is with Ipswich, I think they're going to be the hardest team to predict in the Premier League this season because there's some different outcomes that could happen with Ipswich. Now, first of all, they could just finish rock bottom, which some people are predicting. I don't see that happening, to be honest. I think they have got the quality in their squad. They're a club moving in the right direction. They know what they're doing. They know their plans. But I don't think it's going to be just so easy for them, because I think you have to just remember that some of their players in their squad were playing in League One only 2 years ago. I mean, I was literally watching Ipswich play against Oxford at the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Stadium when it was really foggy. The match was almost going to be postponed. But I just think that the fact that some of their squads were playing in League One against Cheltenham, against Shrewsbury, and now to play against Arsenal, against City, against Villa, against Liverpool is such a massive step up. And I also just think the gap between the Championship to the Premier League is just so huge. I mean, just look at last season, for example. Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United, all of those teams relegated. Now, I just think that with Ipswich, I think they're most likely to stay up out of the 3 teams that have just been promoted from the Championship. Their fans are absolutely outstandingly good. Kieran McKenna, I absolutely love him. I think he's an amazing manager, but I just doubt that Ipswich have got the experience and have got the quality to be staying up in the Premier League for next season. Just before I get into 17th place, I just want to remind you guys about Mind Jerseys. What if you didn't know, Mind Jerseys is a football kit company, and they sell football kits, home, away, third kit, Premier League, loads and loads of divisions, club, country, but basically they sell these kits really cheap, so like 12 to 20 pounds roughly. So honestly, so cheap, but just remember to use the code RH10 and you get 10% off. Also, delivery is 100% free, so you won't waste any more money. Go to Mind Jerseys, the link is in the description like it is in every single video. But yeah, go and get a Mind Jerseys football kit, I highly rate them. Anyway, let's get into 17th. Okay, now to 17th place, I'm putting Brentford. Well, number 1, apparently Ivan Toney might be leaving. And yes, even though they had most of last season without him, I just think he's such a crucial player for Brentford. Their tactics are starting to be found out a bit more. And well, when they first came up, they could just surprise teams. They can play, they can turn up on a day, but I just don't really see that happening as much now. In 16th place, I'm putting Nottingham Forest. Now, despite them having Hudson-Odoi, Elanga and Morgan Gibbs-White, who I think are just amazing players, I just can't see Forest doing that well. Now, last season, they only just survived. They finished 17th place. But again, I just think they're going to have a similar season to last season. I don't think they'll do that well. Okay, so now for 15th place, I'm putting Everton. Now, this season is going to be their last season in Goodison Park, and I'm going there fairly soon on the 17th of August. Talk about their team. Well, they've lost Anana to Villa, but it seems like Jad Branthwaite will be leaving the club. Now, that's not been confirmed, but there's quite a lot of rumours about that. So they have signed O'Brien, who I think will be a good signing for them. I just don't think their attack's that strong. I think they're very solid at the back, at defending, but I don't think their attack is there yet. And in 14th place, I'm putting Fulham. They have signed Smith Rowe from Arsenal, which I think is a great signing. Marco Silva, I think, is a great manager. In 13th place, I'm putting Wolves. I just think they're going to have a very average season. Defensively, they're quite weak. However, when it comes to that attack, I do think they can be quite strong. I mean, they've got 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗃, Neto. I think they've got some strong players in their squad, but I just think they're going to have an average season. In 12th place, I'm putting Bournemouth. Now, I think Bournemouth's a very well-run club, and I think 𝗦𝗰𝗃𝗃𝗃 is just a great player for the team, and they're going to have an average season. In 11th place, I'm putting Crystal Palace. Now, me being a Brighton fan, I've got to be honest, at the end of last season, they were actually unbelievably good. However, 𝗦𝗍𝗃 has gone to Bayern Munich, which I think is going to be a huge loss for them. They've got Eze, they've still got Mateta, and I think their manager is absolutely amazing. So now on to my team. In 10th place, I'm putting Brighton and Hove Albion. We've got the new manager, Fabian Hürzeler, who's 31 years old. But let's just talk about the huge loss in the club right now. Well, obviously looking at Pascal Gross, he's gone to Dortmund, and I think that is going to be such a huge loss for Brighton. But however, look on the bright side, we made some great signings. We've got Minter, we've got 𝗦𝗏. Now, I don't think we're going to be like 6th or 5th, or maybe not even going for conference in 7th, but I think 10th place, having a new manager, new signings, I would take 10th place in my opinion. So now from 9th to 5th, I've just found it so difficult to predict. I think this is such an unpredictable part of the league, and is so close. I think all the teams from 9th to 5th could easily swap around. My gut feeling is just telling me that in 9th place it's going to be Tottenham. I think they're such an inconsistent team. Yeah, they've got some great players as well, such as like Bissouma, Maddison, Son, but I just don't think they're consistent enough. And I think between Timo Werner and Richarlison, I don't think they're going to score enough goals. Now for 8th place, and like I've said, it's so difficult to predict this part, I'm putting Chelsea. They have got some quality in their squad, such as Cole Palmer and Cuckoo. Getting Enzo Maresca as their manager from Leicester, I think was a really poor decision. And my gut feeling is that he's going to be sacked in like November, December. I just think that's going to be a complete mess. Conor Gallagher, he's now gone to Atletico Madrid. Yes, they've got some great quality, but you also have to think about the whole squad in general. Like, they've got such a huge squad that I think the players, they're not even playing for the team, they're playing to make a name for themselves. I think they're more wanting to prove themselves as a player, and because their squad's so massive, the spots are so tight. And I think already from the start, well, I mean, even looking at what Enzo Fernandez did with the video, it's just a complete mess at the club already. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously they've got the quality there, but I just think it's going to be messy. And for 7th place, I'm putting Newcastle. Now, I quite like the manager, Eddie Howe. I think he's done an amazing job there. But I think the key thing to remember about Newcastle is they don't have any European football to focus on. They can just focus purely on the Premier League. And I think they've got a good core group within their squad. I think they've got some decent players, and I feel like Isak is going to have an amazing season. In 6th place, I'm putting Aston Villa. Now, the reason I'm not putting them to be in the top 4 is because of the Champions League. Now, I think with the Champions League, is it completely tires the squad out. I mean, look at Newcastle last season, but I just think having that extra amount of games, flying out to different cities, I think it's going to be a bit too much for them. We just have to remember how good their squad actually is. They have got Watkins, so I really like Unai Emery. I think he's a great manager. I think he'll know how to balance out with the Champions League and Premier League. Oh, okay, so 5th place, I am putting a complete surprise. I'm putting West Ham. Now, you might think this is just a crazy prediction, but I have a really strong gut feeling they're going to be a massive dark horse this season. I think, well, obviously they've got a new manager, they've made loads of transfers, including they've got Kilman from Wolves, Somerville from Leeds, Fulkrug from Dortmund, and also Rodriguez. And I just think the club, they seem to know where they're heading, they're going in the right direction, and I think it's all going to work out well for them. Now, I mean, I could be completely wrong. And like I said, from 5th place down to 9th place, I think it is so difficult to predict. So I think Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa and West Ham, those 5 teams, they could really be anywhere. I just see it all working out for them. I think they obviously know European football to focus on. I just think they're going to be a huge dark horse, huge surprise to the league. and I can just see them finishing 5th. Okay, so now into the top 4, but I'm not going to be putting Man United in 4th. I'm going to actually put Liverpool in 4th. Now, the reason is we have to remember it's not the Klopp era anymore. We have to remember that it's a new system, new manager, and for big teams, well, especially when they've had a manager for so long, like Jurgen Klopp, I think it's going to take some time for them to adjust, and I think there's going to be a bit of inconsistency throughout the season. They also have to remember that they have to adjust and work out which is the best lineup, best system for them to play in. So I think if I was a Liverpool fan, 4th place, I would definitely take it. Now in 3rd place, again, this is a massive shout. I'm putting Man United. Now, many of you are putting Man United around 6th or 7th. Now, the reason I think they are going to be doing well, first of all, it's a huge gut feeling, but I'm more confident now with Erik ten Hag. I think, obviously, Man United, they seem to be confident. He's kept his job. I think also we have to remember that Man United, they've got some solid, amazing quality players within their team. I think Rasmus Højlund will have a great season. I think Leny Yoro will be a great defender for the team and is a great signing for them. And I think the whole club in general is just heading in the right direction. So now we're down to the last 2 between Arsenal and Manchester City. In 1st place, I'm going to be putting Arsenal. Now, this could just be a gut feeling. Now, this just could be me listening more to my heart than my head. And I'm just thinking of Man City, surely they can't keep winning the league. Surely they can't. I mean, they've won it for years and years and years and years. But I just think with Arsenal, they've got the experience of going to the title now. It'll be their 3rd time lucky. It's a strong gut feeling, to be honest. Nothing more to say about it. Hey guys, so there we are. We have finished the predictions. Tell me what you think, guys. Do you rate them? Do you not? Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you disagree with. But yeah, make sure to comment below. Tell me what you think. But also, go to Mine Jerseys after this. The link will be in the description of the video. Look at all the football kits they have. Honestly, insanely cheap. Like, make sure to use the code RH10, 10% off. But another quick thing is make sure to join the FPL. I'll put the code at the bottom of the screen here, and also there'll be a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at Everton.